Hey, what's up, Pixel Perfect fans? This is Travis here. We're at Jason's grandparents' house, just hanging out after day one of E3, and we're here to talk about what we saw at the Nintendo press conference. So let's hit it off.
More
What did they start with?
More importantly, what we didn't see at Nintendo's press conference.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the big thing, is everything that was missing from it. But
Yeah.
I don't know, the big first thing was Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3, Miyamoto's personal Pikmin.
That was adorable.
Living in his dressing room, and who got much bigger in real life when he came out
Yeah,
with a
right.
giant Pikmin leaf over it.
Right, the beanie
Yeah.
Pikmin.
that he wouldn't even give to the audience.
I,
He's like,
I,
you want?
I still wanted him to throw it out, and he didn't.
What can you do? So
But no.
yeah, I mean, Pikmin 3 looked good, and I thought graphically it looked real sharp, despite which is almost a little weird, the cartoony little Pikmin, and then the super realistic water effects and stuff.
Right.
Well, they said the Wii U has the enhanced resolution, so you get the best view of the Pikmin world both on your television and on your gamepad.
Right.
And then they also introduced the Pikmin will be able to build bridges, and they're going to have the new Rock Pikmin.
Right,
So-
new Rock Pikmin, also Captain Olimar isn't in it, but
Yeah.
they're not telling us why yet.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
No Captain Olimar.
No Captain Olimar, but you will also have up to 4 Captain
New
Olimar type
captains.
characters playable at once, so you can have multiple teams of Pikmin doing different stuff.
And it's going to be deeper on a tactical level because it's going to have the gamepad and the Wiimote and the nunchuck, and you can choose
And
which.
teams of Pikmin.
Yeah, you can choose how you want to strategize, and you can be more accurate and tap the Wiimote pad to target specific targets, or you can just use the drag and drop of the Wiimote while moving around with the nunchuck.
Right. I
It's,
mean,
uh,
it looked good, but it was basically just an extended trailer.
I mean, that's what everything was. There was only one gameplay demo the whole time. It was Just Dance 4.
right.
That's the only thing that they played, and even that arguably could have been canned. So
Yeah, it was.
At the
They
very
definitely
least.
moved along very quick. They know, other than Pikmin 3, that was probably the longest thing they showed.
Wow.
Everything else didn't spend more than 2 minutes maybe on any one single game.
and then
They just very fast.
the whole time before they started, they had the Wii U on stage,
Right.
and everyone was like, okay, Wii
And
U.
everyone rushed the stage to take pictures of it.
and they were like, okay, it's gonna be about the Wii U, and then Reggie Fils-Aimé comes out on stage, and he's like, so, Wii U, really cool, huh? Not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna show you games.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you anything about it peripherally. It is gonna have but we will
Well,
tell you
one
it'll
big
support
announcement.
2 Wii U gamepads. But all the games we're going to show you today are just for one Wii U gamepad.
I know.
So basically, they were like, you remember that one thing you've been waiting over a year to find out about, all the technical stuff? Don't worry about it. Go to e3.nintendo.com. That's supposedly where you find more info.
Right.
They also did say that they are going to have a separate conference
for the 3DS.
for the 3DS tomorrow. So more info there, because they didn't spend a whole lot of time with the 3DS.
Very little. Very little.
Very little.
It was weird because on the one hand it was all about the Wii U, but they didn't want to talk about the Wii U hardware. And I mean, I'm all for saying it's all about the games, but come on guys, that's your biggest news.
Yeah, I mean, they went into some detail about what the gamepad is going to be like. I have notes here, it's going to have you can operate with a finger or stylus. It's got a D-pad, the ABXY buttons, pushable analog sticks, the ZL and ZR triggers on the back, L and R buttons on the shoulders, infrared on the top, and an accelerometer built in with rumble feature. And then it's got the built-in camera and microphone, the headphone jack, and the home button will suspend games to check updates or connect with friends like on the 3DS.
Well,
So-
I mean, the home button is basically the same as your PlayStation
Yeah.
button, your Xbox button.
Yeah, but no. Other than that, the one word that they kept pulling the whole time was asymmetric play,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
being able to play on both screens at the same time or
Well-
on one screen. It was
Well, the person with the tablet does one mechanic, and
Right.
the other people on Wii remotes do something else.
and that was their hot button.
They say asymmetric play. I say it's an excuse for only having 2 tablets.
Better than one.
Yeah, that's true.
And of course,
Then they went on
New
to-
Super Mario Brothers U, the Miiverse and New
I
Super
was gonna
Mario
say they
Brothers
talked
U.
about Miiverse
And how it's
and
gonna
integration with
incorporate in
that.
all the games. It's like It's gonna be like the Street Pass on the 3DS, all the
Or like
Mii's-
the Mii Plaza on the
yeah,
Wii.
everybody will congregate, and they'll each have a tile that represents their personal tastes and the entertainment that's trending globally on Wii U. And they'll communicate with each other, speech bubbles, text messages, written word, and pictures like swap notes, screen caps from games.
And then they'll
I just-
congregate around similar.
The funny
Right.
thing about that though was when we got out our 3DS handhelds so that we could swap with all the people that were there with theirs. I was gonna send you a picture as soon as you got yours, and it was just gonna be an inappropriate drawing of like a real rough sketch of a penis. And I was like, that's the perfect thing for this kind of thing. And then as soon as they announced Miiverse, Jason's like, well, there's an excuse to send people pictures of penises.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm just curious how Nintendo's gonna keep their like super family friendly, nothing bad happens on Nintendo's internet thing, and also allow people to send pictures they draw, and like words they physically write instead of type out.
It might be just a very basic functionality, because yeah, you can make your own message to somebody you street pass with, but it's like 15 characters max.
Well, but I mean, not on Street Pass and the Miiverse, because they were talking about as long, the messages were longer. They were like
They
full
were longer,
sentences. And you can on the tablet you can just free write or free draw one.
It will be interesting to see how that
Yeah, all the
pans out.
all the
yeah.
racist 12-year-olds finally infect Nintendo's online capabilities.
Of course, but that's gonna integrate into all the new Wii U experiences. There's gonna be some kind of social aspect in the Miiverse. The new Super Mario Brothers U, they were saying whenever a new system's announced by Nintendo, everyone always says, I want a classic Super Mario Brothers experience and I want you to make it better.
Right.
And
I want it to be just like it always was, but better.
Yeah, so you're gonna have new Super Mario Brothers U with 4-player co-op. You're gonna have Mario and Luigi and the Toads, just like new Super Mario Bros, new Super Mario Bros 2.
They showed
for
some
Wii.
a little bit of Yoshi footage in that.
Yeah, it's gonna
Tanuki suit.
It's very
Yeah.
reminiscent of New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and it can
Yeah.
go from the TV to the Wii U gamepad, but they showed that off last year.
I mean,
And it has boost mode, where apparently players race and one tries to slow, whoever has the gamepad tries to slow the other players down while they're racing. But the thing about the games was, we expected a Mario game, we expected these other kind of games. It was the games that we didn't expect that we were, the ones that were more mainstream titles for the rest of the market that were exciting. Like the next one they announced was Batman Arkham City Armored Edition coming to the Wii U.
yeah.
When Harley, I was a little disappointed Harley Quinn popping in like that and then saying, I'm going to give this over to someone who's really in control. And I was like, please be the Joker. And it
Maybe
was,
kind of fall flat on that promise of that.
yeah, it was just Sefton Hill and the team from Rocksteady.
Yeah.
But you'll have the gamepad, which looks like it's the bat like wrist computer, whatever his device is, and and then it'll also have bat mode, where as you beat people up, you gain energy, and when it maxes out, you become stronger, and you're already the armored Batman suit and the armored Catwoman suit, which you get for beating the game on every other console. So it seems like a real watered down version of the game, but at the same time, the Wii U footage that they had, like the hacking and stuff, and that seemed
Controlling
really,
the battering.
yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed really cool in my opinion. But I feel like I can't judge this clearly because
Here's the thing: did it seem cool because it was Batman, or because it was the
It seemed
Because
cool
the
because it
extra
gave-
Wii stuff,
It gave me an excuse to play the game again. That's why it seemed cool.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't really need an excuse to play that game again.
Fair enough. Well, although that does get hit on, I think, the one thing that impressed me about Nintendo's press conference, and I guess this is something that came up last year. And it's not something they announced directly. It's just the really strong third-party support they seem to have developed for the Wii U. Like they seem to have finally gotten their stuff together as far as third-party support is concerned.
I mean, it's because it's easier to develop for this console. The motion gaming isn't as important anymore,
Right.
and so less people are afraid to jump in. It's a lot easier just to work on 2 screens. There's plenty of third-party support for the 3DS.
It seems intentionally and obviously more supplemental rather than
Right.
okay, you have to change everything. Now you just need to
And
add to.
I wonder if making the hardware more comparable with the other consoles wasn't part of it too. You know,
That
giving the
could be.
developers more horsepower to work with.
And it's worth mentioning again, this was just another trailer. There was no.
Oh, it was
actual
all trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
But, the next big one was Scribblenauts Unlimited, the definitive Scribblenauts experience, because it's got the unlimited possibilities to explore, create, and share.
Well, it was kind of cool that you can create your own.
It's got an item
Things to
creator
scribble.
mode now.
Right.
It's not just first it was just words with limits, then it was words and adjectives with
the
limits,
table's so hard.
and now it's you can actually just make an item. You can
Draw
add,
something.
draw something, add wheels to it. It was
There's
a
a
dog with wheels and a rocket, and then
Right.
they can send it to your friends, and the friend added a green afro to the dog. And
Yeah.
So it's really, really.
One thing that wasn't really clear is it showed the guy on his couch looking at his living room for different stuff, and he looks at his dog. It wasn't clear if he just drew a picture of the dog or if he actually used the camera to take
I
a
was
picture
hoping
of
that
the
that's
dog.
what they were going to show was you could just take a picture of something.
Right,
And
they
it would go in.
they didn't make it clear whether
And
they
that's
was
on
going to use the
purpose.
camera technology.
I think that was purposefully ambiguous so that they could do that if they wanted to, but didn't have to commit to it. And it'll have multiplayer mode. And the next note I have here was when Reggie came back. It just says Reggie's back again. I think there was music to that at the time. But no, the next thing they did, because they had 23 new titles.
Yeah,
they
that was
announced.
the big boast in the beginning. It's all
Yeah.
about the games. 23 Wii U titles
And-
in this press conference.
And the way they accomplished that was every 15 minutes they would just show a montage of upcoming
I
titles.
have 5
Right.
trailers.
And so the
yeah.
next one that they showed was Darksiders 2, Mass Effect 3, a game called Tank,
Yeah.
Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Trine 2 Director's Cut, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, and Aliens Colonial Marines. Now, Darksiders 2 we already knew about, Mass Effect 3 is already out, Tekken Tag we already knew about, Ninja Gaiden 3 is already out, and I don't know if Razor's Edge is just a supplementary or what they're calling it, like Arkham City Armored Edition.
And
we
that's
already,
what I assumed.
and
it
we already
was.
knew about Aliens Colonial Marines. So out of that, Tank, and Trine 2 Director's Cut were the only two that people might not have known were coming.
And one of them is a game that's already out.
Yeah, one of them's a
Yeah.
game that's already out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games right there, and that was less than 2.5 minutes worth of footage.
Yeah.
So that's eight of the 23 games plus Pikmin 2, Armored
3.
Pikmin 3,
Armored Batman.
and Scribblenauts and New Super Mario. So we're already at 12 games.
Right.
And this was only the first 20 minutes of the press conference.
And it was just a bunch of trailers.
Yeah, and it was just a bunch of trailers. So
Also, one thing they were very light on was release dates.
Yeah.
No
because
release
there's no
dates
release
from
date for the
anything.
console.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, of course, they talked about Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus and how successful it was. 43 million copies sold, and they wanted to make something even better. But this new Wii U Fit or Wii Fit U or whatever they're calling it, Wii Fit U, that'd actually be perfect. But anyway, you hear that? Anyway, all it really looked like was Wii Fit, and now you can select your exercises from the gamepad. And then, except
it did show
the fit meter that they held up to it and the infrared data tracked back and forth. The 3DS has a pedometer in it, so they'll probably just infrared communication between the two. But, I mean, it didn't seem to be phenomenal.
It didn't
was,
seem to add a whole lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's Nintendo's thing,
It's
new
not
Mario,
gonna be.
new Zelda, now new Wii Fit.
It's not
You
going to
know,
be
it's another one of their-
Nike Plus
It's
Connect
an
training.
obligatory.
Yeah. I mean, people love Wii Fit, man.
They do.
But then they jumped ahead to the Rockstar experience.
Yeah.
This new game called Sing, capital S, lowercase I-N-G, but that's a working title. They didn't actually have anything for it. I bet you if they went with that, SingStar would go after them because it's too similar. But
Maybe.
But it's
But yeah.
they want to make it so that everybody can play, but what they actually did was make it equally embarrassing for everyone to be involved. Because what it is,
But if everyone is equally embarrassed, doesn't that make it less embarrassing?
but it doesn't make it a better time. It just makes
That's
everybody sad to be there.
Yeah.
It's basically you can do karaoke now, and your
Yeah, you hold the
like
Wii U
this,
tablet.
and you sing, and it gives you suggestions on what to yell at the audience to do to participate. And then on the screen behind you are the same suggestions and dances for people. And they chose that really awful song that we just met. This is crazy song or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Jared's been singing it the whole time that we've been here.
It's damn catchy. I'll give him that.
But anyway, so that was just whatever. And then after that ended, everybody in the audience was like, "That was incredibly stupid. Nobody's gonna want to play that." And I'm standing by this. I'm accusing Nintendo of pushing in canned applause because nobody applauded, and then there was this rush of applause.
I didn't catch
Okay. I don't know. I still think it's possible that was just, the fanboys up in the cheap seats who will clap for everything, but,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the big innovation with that is that you can do karaoke facing your friends instead of facing the TV, but...
So invite your friends over and do it, or go to a bar.
Yeah, right?
You know? And then you don't need to have anything additionally socially immersive on top of it. So,
Yeah, some people might like it though. I don't know. You can never predict who's gonna like, stuff like that.
Yeah, so We Fit and Sing put us at 14 or 15 of the 23 games now, and this is about halfway through.
Yeah. Well, then
The 3DS.
Then they
took
moved
this
on to
thing.
that's what I
3DS
thought.
stuff.
Yeah,
That's
then
when
was
they
the
took
3DS.
And immediately jumped
They
into.
only showed 3 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Super Mario Bros. 2 was the first one that came up.
Right.
And that's a game we've known about for weeks. That got announced a while ago. So that wasn't too big. And that was the one definitive, they gave a couple definitive release dates. August 19th, 2012 is New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Granted, there's also, like Travis was saying, that press conference tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
Right.
So
Basically,
to
the
focus
3DS.
just on the 3DS.
Yeah, the 3DS guy came out and was like, "Hey, so we have this awesome press conference where
You're
we're going to
squeezing this
actually
out."
talk about the 3DS."
Right.
Yeah. Next up was Paper Mario Stick Star.
Yeah. Or Sticker Star?
Stick Star.
Sticker Star.
No,
It was sticker, because that's the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing, is you can pull the stickers off of different objects in the environment and
Right.
use them as
As like
items or
attacks and
power-ups
items and
in
stuff,
battle. Yeah. That actually looks pretty cool to me. I loved the Paper Mario games. I would gladly play another one, especially since I don't think that series has hit the DS yet.
I don't
Paper
think so.
Mario?
No,
Maybe not. I don't think so.
but I'd totally play it on DS.
Although the one thing that I thought was weird is that instead of being straight up 2D, it was almost isometric 3D with 2D characters, and I don't know, just
That's always been that way to emphasize the fact that he's two-dimensional paper.
no.
Or it could just be the way that 3D translated to 2D, because that game already has a very distinctive art style.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Well, that's what I'm
combined
saying.
with the 3D, they can make it work really well, and it just didn't translate to 2D very well.
Maybe it's just I don't know. I'm always hesitant about games with a 3D environment and 2D characters because, like, it always gets a little weird, if you're a little bit behind another one. But I guess with the 3D and the 3DS, that might totally fix that.
Right.
You know,
And they've got the developer talent to
it's
do it
true.
right, I think.
It's true.
And that got the same generic holiday date
Right.
as everything else. That was holiday 2012. But
So
then,
you know what offended me? Scribblenauts Unlimited for the 3DS also.
Yeah, that counted as an additional game. But
Right.
But the next game they jumped
Well,
to is
no, I
Luigi's
mean, it
Mansion.
also what that also means is that the amazing title they announced for the Wii U is a 3DS game.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
formatted it for both.
Yeah.
But no, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon,
Yeah.
which was coming out for the 3DS. And
That
that's
looked good.
that is
It did
Luigi's
look good.
Mansion too. That's what everyone
And
was
people have
talking
been
about.
wanting that game for a long time.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion, despite everyone saying Luigi is not as cool as Mario, Luigi's Mansion has always been a really well loved game. So, and then they did another one of those massive push videos. So
Right.
we got Castlevania: Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, which actually Jason and I both got a chance to play today.
Yeah.
Disney Epic Mickey Power of Illusion, Scribblenauts Unlimited, and Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. So that puts us almost at 20.
well,
if
those
not-
are 3DS games. Those aren't Wii U games. Remember, he said 23 Wii U games.
I thought he just said games, period. But and then they went right into
The Lego
City,
Lego City.
which I thought was going to be goofy, but I'm always continually impressed by Lego games.
really good.
It looks
did.
funny.
It
It
did.
looks fun to play, and it's got tons of in-joke. I don't know if those in-jokes were built in just for the press conference, like the pipe that he goes down, or the other costume references and whatever.
I mean, it fits the sense of humor of the Lego series, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if that was all in the game.
And most importantly, the Legos talk.
Yeah, that's right. They finally talk now.
Yeah, this is the first time Legos have ever actually spoken.
That's not
in-
true.
What game did they speak in?
It's this is basically a remake of Lego Island on the PC.
Well, I'm talking about the first console-based game that the Legos have ever talked about.
Ooh.
The game's worth playing.
Oh my god. No, this is Lego Island was great. It's just like Lego Island. That's why I want to play this game.
I
And
mean,
that's,
I don't know.
Lego City Undercover is the full title.
Right. I
Well,
don't know.
is that the full title or is that an expansion
No,
that they also?
Because the first time they showed the logo, it was Lego City.
They said
Then
people
the
have been
second
asking
time
for
they
Lego
showed
City,
it,
and
it
now
was
it's
Lego
finally
City
coming.
Undercover.
Undercover.
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be
I don't
Lego
know.
City Undercover.
Right.
Because
Maybe
they didn't
different
say
modes.
an expansion pack. So
Right. Where you just play as a police officer trying to bust crime in Lego City.
And that's another one that's also in the works for the 3DS. So is it just a 3DS game developed across, or what? We don't really know.
I'm excited for that though, because that
looked really
series has been tired for years now.
Yeah, and doing something totally original instead
Yeah,
of a
because that humor
reimagining.
still works.
Right.
And they can still do it really well. It just you need to do something different with it.
Something original, maybe.
Right. So I think this will be great for that series, that franchise.
Definitely.
And then Ubisoft was up next, and they announced 3 games all at once: Zombie U, Rabbids Land, and Rayman Legends, all announced for the Wii U.
Yeah. And then the only one that
and
really
Just Dance 4.
and Just Dance 4, and they spent time on Zombie U, which looks like actually a really compelling, survival horror zombie first-person zombie experience.
That's one thing that Nintendo has lacked, is that successful first-person shooter that's actually fun to play with the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And-
A couple of those Dead Space games are pretty good.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 3 was pretty good too.
They were okay, but I mean, they never took off the way that other FPS franchises have. Metroid Prime,
I don't think you can expect them to.
Other M failed completely.
But Other M wasn't a
Other M
first-person
was
shooter.
not
Yeah.
that great of
But-
an experience.
The cool thing is that I feel like Zombie U is the first game we saw at the conference that's integrating the gamepad correctly.
Oh yeah.
It's not just an addition. It's not just there and let's find a way to use it. It's they showed in the it's going to be your only survival kit against the zombie apocalypse. You're going to have radar in there, inventory, an enemy scanner, your sniper scope. If you shake it, you can break free from enemies, and door hacking, which really looks to make it like a survival horror. Because what they showed was, he had the Wii U gamepad here, and he was like looking back and then trying to get the code right, and looking back and trying to get the code right, and it was really intense.
Oh,
It
I mean,
definitely seemed atmospheric,
It
and
did.
the sound quality seemed pretty good.
the graphics were
The graphics were
And
great.
stunning.
And then they're like, oh, hey, look, you can zombify your face. Or not, because it just did not work.
Oh,
It
I
kept
think-
peeling off the side of Reggie's face.
it
Well,
wasn't
he
a
was
zombie, it
also,
was just
like-
a melting.
Yeah.
He was also messing with it too much, It found his facial
And then he
features,
was like,
and then he
"Ah."
made funny
I
faces,
feel
and
like Reggie is you notice everybody just calls him Reggie. They don't do that for the other press conferences. At this point, he's everyone just doesn't even take him seriously. It's and then Reggie's back on stage.
I think that's
like
kind of
Reggie.
the point.
But and then Just Dance 4 they showed, and that's just Dance. I mean, that's what it is. It's more,
and
more
that was,
songs.
like you said before, that was the only one that actually had live gameplay.
And even then, that's questionable. It could have just been pre-recorded dance sequences that they rehearsed, and Reggie just stood up there and pushed buttons.
Right,
and
tapping
pretended.
on the Wii U, pretending like he
Yeah.
was doing something.
And then they didn't really show much about Rabbids Land or Rayman Legends. other
Well,
than-
just really short clips and trailers.
yeah. But then they did another boost of titles: Assassin's Creed 3, Rabbids Land. Again, we just saw Your Shape Fitness Evolved 2013, which I thought was kind of. These are all Ubisoft titles, which I thought was kind of funny with them pushing Wii Fit
Right.
in the same conference. Rayman Legends, already heard. Sports Connection, which we don't know what that is, and Avengers Battle for Earth, which is also coming out for the Kinect, as well as the Wii U. And while they were showing that, there was this circus setup going up in the background, and that was
Oh.
the big reveal of Nintendo Land.
Which, I have to admit, a little visually overwhelming, but pretty awesome looking.
It's developed by the guy who did Animal Crossing, Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort. Katsuya Gucci, I think was his name. But, so it's got that kind of various mini games and that wanderable, very colorful, inviting town feel. completely meshed together.
It reminded me a lot of Mario Party too, with
Yeah,
like
without
the hub
game
world.
board, without the game board.
Right, with like the hub world, and you go to different tents and stuff for different attractions.
And it really, I think they're trying to make it basically the tutorial for the Wii U. Because that's what they kept saying is this will be the experience where you pick up the Wii U and you just understand it.
Right, yeah, they compared it to Wii Tennis, when you picked up Wii Tennis and swung the
Right.
racket
You
the
just
first
got
time.
it.
It would be
Click.
really nice if they did the Wii Sports thing and included it with the console. How clever would that be?
Well, they might, because it seems like a hub world with lots of little sort of mini game-ish experiences.
Based on all the major franchises in Nintendo.
And if they were going to do that, they wouldn't have to include all of them in the first batch.
Yeah, that's what
that
I'm
came
thinking.
With the console.
Like Nintendo Land comes with the console, and you have to purchase the mini games separately. Maybe.
Well, I mean,
Right,
it-
or
it
they
is
give you like
long-
the first. What did he say there were like? Right
12
now, like
titles.
six-
There's 12 titles and they're releasing 5.
So maybe they'll give you the first 5 or 6, and then
Were they releasing
charge you
5,
for
or is
more.
it just that they
There were
only
I
have...
think they were releasing 3.
Can I finish my question?
No, and then they're no.
Or is it just that they only had 5 to try out at... They only have
Like-
5 to try out at E3?
It sounded to me like they had 5 right now.
Yeah, because they have...
Yeah.
Because, like, the 5 that they talked about, they have on the convention floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, we haven't tried them out yet, obviously.
But they did
so-
say it does launch the same day as the Wii U.
Yeah.
So odds are it's probably downloadable straight to the console,
Right.
and you can utilize it right away. And they'll probably come with at least 1 or 2, and then they'll try to sell you the rest or something.
And
You know what?
pushes-
It's Connect Fun Labs, kind of.
Kind of. Well, except, straight from Nintendo. So you've got Nintendo's development powerhouse behind it. And, I mean, that was, again, the asymmetrical gameplay. The one game they really went in depth on, the
Luigi's
Luigi's Mansion one, where...
Ghost Manor.
Right, the player with the tablet is like an invisible ghost, and you can only see yourself on the tablet. And all the other players are on the main screen trying to shine their flashlights on you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it
It
looked
seemed
fun.
like it could be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you just play if you're sitting around going, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? Yeah,
play
let's
this
go to Nintendo Land.
Fun,
Make
stupid
a-
little game. And,
Make a hell of a drinking game.
Yeah.
It would. It would. Also, side note, is it just me or at the end of the trailer when they were pulling out on the Nintendo Land, did it look like Midgar?
A little bit.
Or was that just me?
A little bit.
Maybe
Totally
just...
looked. I saw Midgar there, a Nintendo version of Midgar.
Well, that's sort of what Nintendo Land is, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, and then they just closed out by being all.
That was it.
separate. They were like, it's the tool of together. Reggie Clark, the promise of the Wii U is simple. Together, better. And that was what they wanted to have
Yeah.
to close out on. So, it was. I mean, last year everyone was saying, that Nintendo did this great job, blah blah blah. What's the Wii U gonna be? And then this whole year was like, oh, as we get closer to the Wii U, nobody really wants it. And this was their chance to really be like, this is why you want it. And they were like, no.
Yeah, I don't know
I-
if
I
it
think
really
that-
sold me on the system. It sold me on a few games.
It's
But I don't
only
know
on
if
Zombie
it-
U, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think that they're biting the bullet a little bit from the fact that they should have waited and not said what the big thing about the Wii U was going to be, because then Xbox had Smart Glass and PlayStation has PlayStation Mobile now, and maybe they're being like, it's not quite ready to come out yet. Let's not give anything else away for free.
Well, I don't know about that, because it seems like PlayStation was already moving in that direction anyways, with integration between the Vita and the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
A Vita in your hand is basically a smaller version of a Wii U tablet.
Yeah.
So
And I don't think Nintendo cares what anybody else is doing at this point. They've been doing their own thing off to the side for years now.
Yeah, the
So I
Wii
don't
kind
even
of
think they
proves
care.
that they're not. Well, they said it with the whole Wii thing. They're like, we're not trying to compete with them. We're doing our own thing, and we're doing really well with it, guys.
Right.
But no, that was the conference, and that was kind of.
I mean, it was a little underwhelming. I wish there was anything that I could be sure was live gameplay.
Yeah, but
Um,
or anything that we were certain was definitely rendered on the Wii U.
Ah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, I assume it was rendered on the Wii U this time, just because
There was more dual screen play.
there was dual screen play, and they didn't specifically say it wasn't. And I feel
They
like
didn't say that last year either.
They
They
did.
said it after the conference.
You sure?
Yep.
With the holiday
It was a
release,
bit-
I
it
would
was an
think the
announcement.
technology would be far enough along that
Yeah.
they
Fair
could make
enough.
it work
Yeah,
decently.
Reggie announced it after the conference to the press that it was all rendered on other systems.
Oh, that's right.
And everyone was like, what? And then they went back and changed their opinions of the whole thing.
Well, fair enough. I mean, who knows then? I don't know. I feel like if the hardware is that much farther along, I don't know though. Who knows?
But the seats were comfortable.
the seats were
The
comfortable.
Nokia Theater, it was a nice venue, nice bright blues, and
The Wi-Fi worked very
Wi-Fi
well.
worked great. There was a little bit of air conditioning, heavy security, business casual dress,
Bag checking.
bag checks, and so way to go Nintendo on being safe and business efficient.
Fun, safe, and appropriate.
Yes. Except for the guy with the inappropriate T-shirt with the camera that walked out. at the
Well,
end.
he wasn't a Nintendo employee.
But no, I mean, so good on them for setting up a nice venue and everything. But it would have been nice for them to have done something with it.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be because the Wii U is they're still working so many bugs out of it that they can't give it a date. You know, they can't do live gameplay trailers. They can't live gameplay demos and stuff. Although they have, you know, Zombie U and stuff on the floor to try out. So I don't know why they couldn't just do that during the press conference for people to see.
Too many questions.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the other thing with technology like that. You need to actually do it. It's just like the Wii. You need to get your hands on it and try it. And I think.
And then at the same
That
time,
plays
you can
into
say
it, too.
that, but they showed the 3DS on stage, and the whole 3DS
Yeah.
conference, they were like, "You're not really gonna get to see the 3D, but trust us,
It's
works."
awesome.
Because they have to show something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now we're gonna chain it to models instead of that's what they should
Right.
do.
Well,
They
at the
should
very
chain it to
least, though, a
models.
live gameplay shows that you know for sure that what you're seeing isn't pre-rendered. It's not rendered on another console.
Right.
You know.
You know what I
stuff
forgot
like that.
though? We forgot to mention, and we totally called it in the pre-3 podcast.
What's that?
New Mystical Ninja due out at the end of the year.
I
totally,
wish.
totally called that one.
Oh yeah.
Pants messed. But no.
And with that.
And on that note, with my pants messed, we bid you adieu.